Hey, greetings friends. Dennis LaRue here, your executive and life coach with LDR. Leaders develop relationships, and the number one relationship you develop is with yourself first. And this is the hashtag Steel Toes Required quote of the week. This is number 95. Number 95. And this week's quote is wonderful. Chuck Parker, what's going on, brother? James, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Tonight's quote is from a book that I just reread recently. The author's name is Jon Gordon. Jon Gordon writes some great books. He spends time with athletes and coaches at the college, professional level. Just does some amazing. If you go check out his podcast. He's got a great podcast. Hey, Tish, what's going on? And the book that he wrote is called The Carpenter. And in The Carpenter, I'm not even going to, just go get the book and read it. He shares the three success strategies, the three strategies for success. There we go. I got it out. I've got so much running through my brain right now. Just need to slow down. Hey, Tish, what's going on? So here's his quote. Tonight's quote is just perfect, and it speaks to me, and I hope it speaks to you as much as it spoke to me. And here's the quote. He said this. He said, "Don't focus on winning a championship. Focus on becoming a champion." Don't focus on winning a championship. Focus on becoming a champion. Did you hear that shift? That mindset shift? Did you hear that shift? Because, I love sports. You guys know it. My mom's on here. She definitely knows it. She knows how much I love sports. I have been watching, playing, doing anything around sports for as long as I can remember. And the thing about sports is, and I listen to sports talk radio, and I hear these conversations all the time about players who have never won a championship. The greatest players to have never won a championship. And I can't stand that. That just drives me nuts. Because some of these players, they were champions. They were championship level players. They just never got a ring or a statue or a banner or whatever else, because it's all about championships. I mean, when we think of championships, every player and every coach that is at any level strives to win a championship. I mean, the NFL is getting ready to get started. 32 football teams all striving for one goal and only, and that's to win the Super Bowl. Only one team gets it. Baseball, winding down, you're going to have playoffs. You're looking at 12 teams that are working towards winning the World Series. Only one winner in the World Series. College football cranking up. The mythical national championship. There's 128 Division I college football programs, but only one of those is going to be named national champion. So, throwing that all in, when we think of sports, we think of championships. We see the cutting down of the nets. We see the dog pile at the mound when the pitcher gets the last out in the World Series. We see the champagne celebrations in the locker rooms of those things, and it's an exciting feeling. I can just imagine now. I can feel it right now. My hairs are standing up right now on me because I love that. And in a moment of transparency as a kid, I had this feeling that unless you won a championship, it didn't matter. And in fact, if I didn't win, if my team didn't win, I took it so personally that I actually I took it personally like I was the loser. I think of my granddaughter right now. She says this when she's playing video games with her family and she wins. She says, "I da winner, you da woozer." I da winner, you da woozer. And that feeling of losing and taking that on as a character reference, as a smack against who I am. Losing doesn't define you. Losing actually is part of the process of becoming a champion. And so going through this, the question is, what does it mean to become a champion? What does becoming a champion look like? What does that mean? Because when you think of championship, well, you think, well, every player on the team is a champion in title, yes. But not every player who doesn't win a championship, that doesn't mean they're not a champion. So how do you become a champion? What does that look like? Jamie, good point. Zoe says she's the winner and everyone else is the loser, no matter if she wins or loses. That's true. I love her mindset. Love my granddaughter's mindset. She's the winner, no matter what. I love it. What's becoming a champion, though? As I've thought about this, as I've shifted through this, in this culture of ours that is championship-oriented, championship-minded, I look at the NBA and the way the NBA, the National Basketball Association, has shifted. We just recently went through the Women's World Cup, Wimbledon. I mean, there's sports everywhere. As a matter of fact, we're getting into that. We're getting into that season where it's a sports person's paradise. Basketball, baseball, football, hockey, all of it's all going to be going on all at once. If you've got ADD and love sports, here it comes. What's a champion? What is a champion? Because the championships, hey, Melanie, good to see you. Congratulations. So here are some characteristics I just wrote down real brief. And they'll be on this blog. I'll just touch a couple of them. Is the characteristics of a champion. Not necessarily a championship, but a champion. Here's the first one. The first one that I wrote down that stood out immediately to me is that champions master the fundamentals and never stop practicing them. Champions master the fundamentals. They master them. So let's pick a sport come up, football. I think of Tom Brady. I've seen some things on Tom Brady. Here's Tom Brady, 42 years old. Going to go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. Whether you like it or not is up for debate. 6 championships. Whether you like that or not, you have to throw that out there. Tom Brady is out there, and I've seen some of the videos that he's done on this. He's out there at 42 years old in 6 championship rings, and he is mastering the fundamentals of throwing a pass. He's 42. He's been in the league for 20 plus. He's been in the league for 20 years, over 20 years, and he's still out there mastering how to accurately throw the pass. If you've been doing this for 20 years at that level, you think he's figured it out? Yes, but he's still out there practicing it. Hey, Jocelyn, good to see you. And he's working on throwing the pass different ways, making sure he feels it. There's one video where he's going back to pass, and he throws it, and his coach asks him, Did you feel it there? Did you feel it? And Tom said, yeah, I felt it there. It was different. And it was a perfect pass. And his goal was to replicate that. And that's what he worked on after that. He was mastering the fundamentals of throwing the football. Making basketball players, practicing the fundamentals of shooting free throws. Dennis Lear's opinion, they need to be doing more of that. Now I see too many of those being missed. They're working on the three-pointer. They're working on making layups. They're working on open jump shots. They're working on dribbling, passing, shooting, all the basics. If you watch Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors, his workout routine before each game draws a crowd. It reminds me of showing up at the baseball park and watching people taking batting practice before the game so they could catch a home run ball. But people are there to watch Steph as he practices before the game. It's legendary. He has taken the fundamentals and he works on them and even makes them more difficult, a fundamental more difficult by adding to it. But it starts with the fundamentals. Champions master the fundamentals. They do it every day. And you know what else? They don't complain about it. They don't complain about doing the fundamentals. They don't complain about what they have to do because it's a part of the process. It's a part of the growth. It's a part of the game. And you know what? They love the game. If they love the game, they love the aspects of the game. They enjoy what they do. They love what they do. They love how they do it. And they do whatever it takes. Think about that for a moment. And you know what? Champions also, here's another characteristic of a champion. Champions value the journey more than they value the title. Because when they get that title, you'll see him. Michael Jordan, when he finally held that trophy in his hand, he cried. People jump up and down and they're excited and they embrace it. They finally reached it. And when you hear the interviews on these champions, they'll go back and say that all the losses and the journey that they had to go through, they valued the journey to get to that championship. They valued all the hardship, all the struggle, all the pain, all the sacrifice to win that title. And they'll never forget the moment winning that title, but they also enjoyed the journey and they found a way to try to get another one and how they have to step it up next time. Champions also are not satisfied. When they win that title, champions are not satisfied with yesterday's success. They're not satisfied with yesterday's performance. One of my friends, Jim Crothers, said this. I heard him say this. He said this, and he said, yesterday's home run doesn't win today's game. Yesterday's home run doesn't win today's game. My Texas Rangers yesterday had a walk-off home run to win the game in the 10th inning. That won't do it today. A home run yesterday doesn't go on the scoreboard today. Champions know that, realize that, and they get back to work. They do what is necessary daily to win the day. And champions focus on who they want to become. Champions focus on who they want to become. My question is, who do you want to become? Who do you want to become? We all want to win a title. We all want success. We all want to cross the finish line, as I say. And I'll ask you what that finish line looks like and all of those things, but that's all important. But who do you want to become in the process? Who do you want to become? Who do you want to be remembered for? What does a champion look like to you? What is your definition of a champion? Babe Ruth said that too. Thank you, Nellie. Who do you want to become a better version of me? That's right, Nellie. We want to become a better version. How do you do that? How do champions become a better version of themselves each day? They master the fundamentals and they do them every day. They're not satisfied with yesterday. They don't rely on yesterday's success. They don't rely on their talent alone. They value the journey. And you know what? Champions, when they face obstacles, I think they smile at the obstacle. They smile at the challenge. It's an opportunity. Folks who don't want to be champions, look for other ways. Or go back. Or they stay comfortable where they're at because they're giants where they're at. Winning championships where they're at. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're a champion. Champion starts inward, shows itself outward. Champions are made inside, and it shows up on the outside. All those hours of practice that the Tom Bradys and the Kobe Bryants here in San Antonio, will say the Tim Duncans and the Manu Ginobilis. Hey, Diane. Pick your sport. Pick who is a champion in your eyes. And they were up early. They stuck to a routine by themselves, working hard on the little things, the fundamentals, that when the time came, they were made champions on the court. And they made it look easy. They made it look easy because they worked hard every day to get to where it looks easy. So easy that a caveman can do it, as you might hear in the commercials. They make it look easy. Champions make the difficult look easy. But it wasn't easy because they put in more hours, more time, more heart, more effort, everything, more sweat, blood, and tears than anybody else. So it would look that way. The University of Notre Dame, you go out onto the football field, I think OU has one of these as well. Play like a champion. I have a sign that says play like a champion. Players hit that as they go out. What does that mean to you? What does play like a champion mean to you? Because this week your action step as we wrap Steel Toes up is it's time for you to identify what a champion looks like to you. Your championship journey. I bet you can define what your championship looks like. But becoming the champion to hoist that championship trophy, what does that look like? What does your journey look like? Your action step this week is to map out what a champion is. Who you are. Who are you? What does being a champion mean to you? Play like a champion. What does that mean to you? What does that look like? Write it out. Map it out. Mind map it. Whatever that is. Get it on paper. Get it out here. It's your mind's swirling right now. Your eyes are churning. You're thinking. You're looking up at the ceiling. You might do it as I do. Put your hand on your chin and rub it a little bit. Thinking. Maybe your eyes. Maybe you get a little fired up. Maybe there's a little twinkle, a spark. And you got a lot of energy. But now, take the pen to the paper. Get what's here out here. And then identify those fundamentals. What are the fundamentals? As you're thinking what a champion is for your championship, what are the fundamentals for you to practice every day to get to that championship? That's your action step this week. Action steps, actually, this week. If you haven't identified your championship, do that. Define what the journey is as a champion to get there. And then you need to map out what play like a champion each day is for you to obtain that championship. And that, my friends, is your hashtag Steel Toes Required quote of the week. Jon Gordon, from his book The Carpenter, said, "Don't focus on winning championships. Focus on becoming a champion." And my friends, today is your day to focus on becoming a champion. I pray the blessing of bread that you know no hunger. Pray the blessing of salt that your life would be flavorful, filled with championships as you become that champion and as you are salty in other people's lives. And I pray the blessing of wine, that joy and prosperity would be yours, and that the love of God would be your portion this day and forevermore. My friends, thank you so much for watching Steel Toes. I thank you for the likes, the comments, the interaction. I'll jump on here and interact with you momentarily. Thank you for the shares. I appreciate you so much. Now, go out this week, get your steel toes on, and go be a champion. Become a champion. Start that process. And those of you that have already identified those things, practice those fundamentals. Master them and love doing it. All right, friends, have a great week. We'll see you out on the streets, or we'll see you, no kidding, at least, minimum, here next Sunday night for the next hashtag Steel Toes Required quote of the week. Take care, friends. Bye for now.